Episode 4: The Downfall and Mistreatment of Christopher Columbus. It's essential to note that Christopher Columbus was a man of frail constitution. Facing increasing pressure from the Spaniards, they initiated the enslavement of the indigenous people. Consequentially, in 3 swift moves, the Spaniards coerced these native folks into quarrying gold mines in Cibao and laboring on cotton and tobacco plantations. These native populations, unaccustomed to such arduous work and enduring inhuman treatment, ultimately faced a smallpox epidemic. This particular disease, introduced by the Spaniards, devastated the indigenous communities, causing them to die in droves. Keep in mind that during this period, Spain was immensely powerful. Hence, the Spaniards felt far too significant and influential to heed a decrepit Italian like Christopher Columbus. Grapevines were rife with stories of greed, envy, and jealousy. The Spaniards didn't limit themselves to a couple of denunciations or unfavorable reports against Columbus that were dispatched to Spain. Queen Isabella found it necessary to dispatch Juan de Aguado to Hispaniola to scrutinize the allegations laid against Columbus. So dire were these charges that Columbus found himself compelled to hastily return to Spain to proclaim his innocence. Upon hearing Columbus's explanation, Queen Isabella allowed him to resume his duties in the colony. But no sooner had Columbus returned than a fresh torrent of accusations, rumors, and denunciations against him began anew, and with increased intensity. The situation escalated to the point where Spain felt compelled to send a second investigator, Francisco Bobadilla. Upon arriving, Bobadilla immediately arrested Christopher Columbus, along with his brother Bartholomew, chaining them and condemning them to death. Chained and confined to the ship's hold, Columbus and Bartholomew were transported back to Spain under the orders of Bobadilla. In Spain, Queen Isabella demanded justice for them. Although they were subsequently released, Columbus was sternly warned never to return to Hispaniola. It's worth noting that Columbus passed away in despair and sorrow, his affairs in disarray, on the 20th of May, 1506. After his death, Columbus's remains were moved multiple times, with conflicting claims about his final resting place. Both Spain and the Dominican Republic maintain that they hold Columbus's remains, and to this day, the exact location of his burial is shrouded in mystery. Columbus's treatment of the indigenous people remains one of his most heavily criticized legacies. Under his governance, the indigenous Taino population faced forced labor, violence, and exploitation. His role in the enslavement and suffering of the Taino and other indigenous peoples has cast a long shadow over his legacy. Although Columbus is often credited with discovering America, the claim is widely disputed. Indigenous peoples had inhabited the Americas for millennia, and Norse explorers, such as Leif Erikson, reached North America centuries before Columbus's arrival. His title as discoverer is seen as Eurocentric and erases the existence of native civilizations. The true birthplace of Columbus has been a matter of debate. While widely accepted as Genoese, alternative theories propose Spanish, Portuguese, or Catalan roots, with some suggesting Columbus hid his origins. Though most agree he was Genoese, the mystery around his background has fueled enduring speculation. Historians argue over Columbus's actual authority in Hispaniola, with some suggesting that he was sidelined due to not being a Spaniard. This viewpoint contends that Columbus was never fully in charge, with his leadership limited by Spanish settlers and officials who viewed him as an outsider. Consequently, his governorship has been described as unstable and marked by dissent.